Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker is Pat Williams, the Managing Director of Revolver Resources. Pat has worked in the global resources business for more than 30 years, where he's held senior roles with several international mining operations from the front line through to the boardroom. Working through a range of senior production and management roles, Pat gained strong operational management experience over 15 years. As COO of global mining services company Runge Limited, Pat steered that business through IPO and various M&A transactions. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Pat Williams from Revolver Resources.
Hello, I'm Pat. I'm from Queensland. I don't think I'm very smart. I don't know whether that's because I'm from Queensland, but in Revolver, because we're not very smart, we're trying to do simple things and keep life simple. In the work sense, we found this. We kind of looked at it and we went, okay, what's that? Because we're not smart. And our good geologist told us it's a stick of copper, probably some of the highest grade copper that anyone here in this event tonight's ever going to touch, so please come and say good day to it later on. Parts up and down this stick of core, shoot on an XRF over 45% copper, but it averages 20%. So high-grade chalcocite enriched massive sulfide. We got this. This bit's about a year old, came out of the ground, and we went, okay, we're not smart people, what do we do? So we get the thematic of copper. I'm not here to convince you about that today. We don't have a lot of time till the bells ring in my ear behind me. But Revolver's been in existence for 7 years, 5.5 of that as a private company. We've had these assets. We've been very close to them. We've de-risked them. We've put a lot of money into these as a private business. So we brought to market in September 2021 two very high-profile copper exploration projects. So we've always set out to define Revolver as a business with uniqueness and distinction. Okay, it's not just one trick. Okay, so we brought to market two projects with very high exploration potential upside. Since we've listed, we've added a third trick, the near-term production potential. So since we've listed, we've advanced the two projects, both in Queensland, both in the north. The first is the Dianne Project, once was in the late 70s, early 80s, and still is, has the credit of being Australia's highest grade copper mine ever. Sticks like this. It produced for a short amount of time. They high-graded the massive sulfide lens and left everything else. Okay, we've spent 12 months quantifying what's left. There's a lot more than we thought. Since we released the resource in December last year, it made a hell of a lot of good sense for us to wrap around that a production study. That'll be released to market probably in the next 7 days or thereabouts, and it's going to have a very compelling business case with it. Second project we have is in the Mount Isa block. It's in premium postcode territory, and that's established from work we've done prior to listing that we've got ourselves in an IOCG system, and we're zeroing in on what we do with that as we go forward now. So a little bit more detail about each of those projects just quickly. The Dianne Project, northwest of Cairns, in the Hodgkinson province, Australia's highest grade producing copper mine. VMS, volcanic hosted massive sulfide, where there's one of those, there's more, they're not unicorns. We set about establishing where there are more. After developing the mineral resource estimate, it was quite clear to us that there was more left behind than was appreciated. There's the remaining massive sulfide lens, and wrapped around it is a very neat homogeneous grade 1% oxide core. Run the test work, very good recovery, very good metallurgy. We'll have the infrastructure for regional step-out opportunities. So we had the theory all along with the VMSs, where there's one, there's more. We've spent the last 12 months in the region identifying and focusing in on the trends that exist across the territory and identifying for us, proven by a drill hole that we completed just in January, stepping out a couple of kilometres from the old pit, we've intersected another VMS system. So very happy with that result. It legitimises all of the exploration work that we've done in the year, and we find ourselves with a district scale opportunity that stretches for quite some kilometres. Several high priority EM targets. When the rain stops up there, we're certainly going to spend the rest of this year on two fronts with Dianne, the production development plan and the step-out drilling across these very exciting VMS upside potentials. Second of the projects, as I said, is out in the Mount Isa block, Project Osprey. It's got good neighbours, it's in the right postcode, it's elephant country, and we're clearly hunting for elephants, and we're very much on the scent for that. Here's our project, 800 square kilometres. This is the project that we've had since inception in 2015. Multiple phases of exploration work, lots of diamond drill core. We've reanalysed, reassayed, retested that, and clear evidence. We've got ourselves an IOCG lookalike system. Late last year, we ran a 1,000 line kilometre heli EM program. That's come together just now, giving us some very close correlation in this small little postage stamp area that we've started in. Very close correlation to the drilling nearby that we'd completed. This is where we started, up north of Mount Isa, and since we've been progressing with what we've done, we've had some pretty big neighbours come in close by over the last 12 months because they recognise the pedigree and the quality of the acreage that we've got. We don't sit around on our hands, not because we're not smart, we've got to keep doing the work over and over again, but we're very results-focused people. Since 2015, we've constantly worked the projects, constantly improved their value. So we're sitting here today, proudly saying Queensland's next emerging copper producer with exploration upside on two crackingly good projects. So we're excited about where the world is, and we're moving forward with quite some haste. Thank you very much.
Look, just from a personal perspective, my view is that copper has been left behind in the whole lithium battery metals juggernaut, and it's only a matter of time before it gets dragged along. It's very much part of that thematic, and I think companies like yours are really interesting, particularly when they've got grade, Pat.